Welcome back to Slack Signal X, and welcome to my existential crisis. Depending on your station in life, you may or may not relate, but imagine waking up one morning and you realize the momentum's gone. Not just the physical stuff like your job, your marriage, your habits, but the inner current that used to pull you forward, the thing that told you where to go next. I grew up in Connecticut, not the hedge fund yacht club kind of Connecticut. I'm talking diners with cracked vinyl booths, abandoned mills, and a fair amount of drugs and poverty. Mostly rural, the kind of place where you could disappear and no one would ask why. I spent much of my youth going to punk shows and musty basements and years riding skateboards until my knees started telling me I wasn't 17 anymore. I spent 25 years as a tattooer, a real career with real people. I made a life out of it. Then it unraveled. Divorce, destruction, dependency. I weathered the chaos until a kind of stillness I hadn't felt since I was a teenager washed over me. Daily, I found myself staring at the ceiling, wondering what the hell to do. I don't miss the past. I just don't know how to do the present. But before I go on, please, like, subscribe, and don't be a poser. Chapter 1. The Slow Drift. Tattooing gave me an identity, a sense of rhythm, a way to navigate the world. You show up, you create something, you connect, you get paid, and you go home with this weird sense of purpose. Not lofty, just yours. But when the divorce hit, everything got quiet. It was just done, like the song ended and nobody hit play again. By the time COVID happened, I was on a collision course with whatever was in front of me until I hit bottom. Face first with a cop's boot on the back of my neck. So 4 years ago, I stopped drinking and walked away from the hard stuff. And I just sort of coasted to a stop and decided not to start back up again. I still smoke weed. It keeps the static manageable. I'm clear-headed most days. But now that the buzz is gone, the chaos is quiet, all that's left is space and the echo of a question I never asked before. What now? Because the world didn't change overnight. I just stopped keeping up. I blinked, and it all moved 5 exits ahead. Chapter 2. The quiet corner and the noise inside. Connecticut was always a little beige. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing spectacular either. It gave me just enough space to rebel without burning out. I skated curbs, bombed hills, and broke things. Started punk bands with friends, not for any real reason. No seeking fame or fortune, just trying to see what it would turn into. And nobody asked what you were doing with your life then, because nobody knew what they were doing with theirs. It was freedom in a weird way. You just did what made sense in the moment. So in the late 90s, I started tattooing. I built something with my hands. I talked to people who maybe didn't talk to anyone else all day. It felt like it meant something. But now, I walk into rooms and I feel like I'm interrupting a broadcast I wasn't invited to. I don't know the codes. The rhythm's different. The pace is relentless. I didn't decide to fall behind. I just stopped updating the software. And now the whole system's running in a language I don't speak. Chapter 3. A pause. This isn't a cry for help or some middle-aged whine fest about the good old days. I'm not interested in going backwards. I just want to figure out how to go again. Forward, sideways, anywhere but stuck. I mean, there's this idea that by 50, you're supposed to know who you are. And what if you did until one day you didn't? I'm not exactly lost. I'm just standing still. I wake up, make coffee, sit in silence, try to write some ideas down, try to make something again, try to feel like I'm in the world, not just watching it scroll past. And I know I'm not alone. A lot of Gen Xers feel like the room changed and nobody told us. We're not angry. We're not even confused, just kind of unplugged. Not irrelevant, not obsolete, just not synced up with the broadcast. Chapter 4. Noise. I'm not looking for a comeback. I don't want to get back out there and pretend I'm 30. I just want something that feels real, something that doesn't need a filter or a follow or a brand strategy. I'm looking for a signal in the noise, Because it's not that the world moved on, it's that I let go of the rope and now I'm floating, looking for another handhold. One that makes sense for who I am now, not who I was at 24. Not the drunk guy covered in ink with a full appointment book. I still believe in creativity and subculture, in that unspoken understanding between people who don't quite fit. But I want to know what that looks like now, for us, the ones still figuring out what comes after the soundtrack fades and the lights come up. Chapter 5. What now? Not in some dramatic arms to the sky way, just that quiet, persistent hum in the background. I've got time now. I've got clarity, mostly. The buzz is gone. The internal chaos has calmed down, and all that's left is this space, wide open. It's kind of peaceful, and also kind of terrifying. I mean, I know how to work. I know how to show up. I've done hard things, but this kind of internal re-entry, it's not about skill. It's about identity. Because once you strip away the titles, tattooer, father, husband, drunk, whatever, what's left? Just a guy. A guy with a weird playlist, a bunch of stories, and a feeling that maybe he's got more to give. He just doesn't know what shape it's supposed to take anymore. Chapter 6. Between versions. Here's the thing no one tells you. Reinvention is awkward. It's not dramatic like the movies. There's no montage, no big reveal. Just a slow, uncomfortable shuffle towards something vague that feels slightly less fake than yesterday. I'm not trying to become someone new. I'm just trying to figure out what version of myself fits now. Because being the ex-tattooer is easy. That's the past. People understand that story. But who am I now? That's fuzzier. I know I still need to create. Not for fame or applause, just to feel connected to time, to people, and myself. But I don't need to be loud anymore or try to impress. I just want to build something that feels true. And that means getting real quiet and listening, waiting for the next version to show up and introduce himself. Chapter 7. Loading. People forget we're still here, Generation X, the gateway children of the digital age. We didn't grow up with the internet, but we got sucked into it anyway. We were analog kids with digital futures, and somewhere in between, we got tired of shouting into the void. We're not extinct. We're just in stealth mode. We're raising kids, burying our parents, changing careers, quitting the stuff that was killing us slowly. Some of us stopped drinking. Some of us got clean. Some of us still keep a little weed in the drawer to smooth out the static. And a lot of us are asking, what does purpose look like now? Not passion, not profit, just purpose. Something that doesn't feel empty. Because we've seen what happens when you chase approval. We've seen what happens when you try to outrun yourself. We played that game. We know how that ends. What we want now, if I had to guess, is to be part of something that doesn't require pretending. Something real. Something steady. Something human. Chapter 8. The art of showing up. So maybe the next chapter isn't a new job or a podcast or the perfect side hustle. Maybe it's just learning how to show up again, clear-headed, steady, and present. I'm not trying to make a splash. I'm just trying to stay in the water, keep moving, even if I don't know where the current leads. It's weird being 50 and feeling like a beginner again, but maybe that's the point. Maybe it isn't a crisis. It's a reset. It's when you finally stop running from yourself and you start walking towards something new, slowly, one quiet, unremarkable step at a time. You stop needing to impress anyone. You stop measuring yourself against the version of you that had louder music and less joint pain. You just are. And that, well, hopefully that's enough. Chapter 9. Where do we fit? So where do I fit? I don't know. But maybe fitting in was never the goal. Maybe it's about finding the cracks, the side doors, the other weirdos who also feel like the world got fast while they got quiet. There's a whole tribe of us out there. Ex-punks, ex-addicts, ex-tattooers, just trying to find a way forward without having to fake it. We're not clean in the way the world defines it, but we're clearer than we've been in years. We don't need spotlights. We need signal, connection, honesty. Something small but solid. And if you're out there, off the hard stuff, tired of the noise, trying to figure out where the hell you belong, just know this. You're not broken. You're just between versions. Keep going. Thanks. This has been Slag Signal X.